Liverpool 4, Sunderland 2. This is our first pre-season game of the year, and I've just made some notes. I thought we'd go over some of the things that were stood out to me, some of the things that we were looking forward. You know, are there any players that stood out? So I've got quite a few notes. So let's just go through it, shall we? So I think in the build-up, Iraola said that he was looking for identity, and he wasn't worried about if things don't work. Just if, he said, if timings are off, we can fix that. I just want to see that the players are learning the ideas, and we can adjust things to make sure that the timing's correct and the movements that he's looking for are there. That was what his key point was. I mean, you know, he's already speaking well. Again, we've said this a lot already with Iraola. He's speaking really well. And I think it's just a case of, even though this is a pre-season, and pretty much everybody always says, it doesn't matter about results, just about performance. But I'm sick of hearing that. I want to win every game. And I want that habit of winning to be in the team. And that's kind of what Iraola was saying, which was refreshing to see that, you know, he wasn't playing it down. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't saying, oh, well, if we don't win, it doesn't matter. I'm just looking. No, he said, I want to play well. I want to win. And we'll see what we can do, which I liked. I did like that. So the first sort of disappointment of the day was no Jeremy Jacquet. No idea why. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see in the build-up. No one ever mentioned it. Even the whole commentary of the game, the commentators didn't once mention that there was no Jacquet today. So that was really disappointing. I really wanted to see some action from Jacquet because I thought he was fit now. I know he's been out for a while, but I thought he was fit and ready to go. So I was surprised about that. But that comes back in a little while. We'll talk about that in a moment and why that worked out quite well. Now, the other thing, just on a side note, the Sunderland kit. Jesus, oh my God. It was, I mean, the fact that it was pink, I mean, like bright pink was bad enough. But it looked like it was made of silk. So they looked like silk pajamas. And they had a pinked out badge. They had no sponsorship on it. So it was just pink and with a black shoulder. Awful kit, absolutely terrible. Did not like that whatsoever. But hey, that's their concern, not ours. But it definitely needs mentioning. Jesus. So what was I looking for in this pre-season? What do we want to see here? Now I know Iraola's already sort of touched on this already, saying that he's looking for identity. And for me, I just wanted to see. We've seen the pre-season already, so I was looking for like the little, they've done lots of like 5-a-side games, lots of 1-2s, lots of little triangles. And I wanted to see that. They were doing a lot of like, in training, they were doing a lot of like 1-2 touch and then hit long, you know, then explode. And that's kind of what I was looking for today. We didn't see it. We didn't see it at all. I mean, that first half, it was men against boys. It was a very young team. And again, this is a pre-season game. There's a lot of young players here. I'm not criticising anybody. I'm just telling you what happened. But we were so out-muscled, outclassed in that first half. They looked so much better than us. So I was hoping I was looking for us winning the ball back and counter-attacking quickly. But in the first half, it didn't really happen. I mean, it happened kind of once. So we got the goal. So we scored the first goal. Which was really nicely played. Like 2 or 3 quick balls through the middle, bam, great goal. We'll get to that in a second. But you could already see that the centre-halves were starting to split straight away when the goalkeeper got it. And Curtis Jones was dropping back in to receive the ball. Now, again, we're talking about systems here, not really the individual players. But I don't like Jones there. He's too unreliable with the ball. He holds on to it too long, thinks he can beat a player. You don't want that from your sixth. You do not want him there hanging onto the ball, hogging it, as long as he always does, and then giving it away. I mean, he was okay today, but going forward, that's not where I want to see Curtis Jones with the ball. I don't like that. 7 minutes in, Joe Gomez goes off injured. Can you believe it? And this, again, he's great, but he's just so unreliable injury-wise. Not his fault, of course it isn't, but we can't rely on him as a team. If he's He played 7 minutes of the first game. He's already injured. Frustrating. I mean, obviously, I feel sorry for him. Terrible for him. He must be so annoyed. But again, from a selfish point of view, from the team, we can't be relying as Joe Gomez as an option. It's just a bonus if he's fit. So that's a shame. However, that did mean we brought on Ndukwe in his replacement. Now, he's a trialist at the moment, don't forget. He's not actually at Liverpool. He's a trialist. And he came on instead of Gomez. And what a game. He looked fantastic. Again, thrown in. He didn't even have his shin pads on, his boots on. He was just chucked straight on, not even thinking about being ready. And he settled in fantastically. Only a young kid. What was he, 17, 18? Fantastic. But we'll get to that anyway. Like I said, Liverpool's first goal, Morrison, again, a couple of quick passes. Morrison cut in off the left foot, bottom corner, in off the bottom of the post. Great finish. That was our first shot on target. What was that, 12 minutes? That was the first time we'd been anywhere near their penalty area, and we scored straight away. So that was good. Other than that, Morrison looked all right. Again, he's a promising player, but he did kind of... We were so poor in the first half, it wasn't really fair because he just wasn't getting any service. Frimpong was all over the place in the first half. I thought he looked totally clueless of what he was supposed to be doing. That was frustrating. And then we started to play it around our penalty box too much again. I don't like this. I understand we're doing the same sort of thing where we're trying to draw the other team onto us and knock it around them. But with the players that we had out there, they just weren't good enough to do that. And it was nerve-wracking, way too long. It wasn't just a case of getting past the attacker to get rid of it. It was knock it around, back onto yourself again, put yourself back under pressure, and putting pressure on like the younger players that you just didn't need. So that needs quickening up or sorting out what we're doing. Whether they didn't know where they were going with it, I don't know. Yeah. Now, Will Wright up front didn't really have any opportunities, didn't have anything to do really. Again, just stuck up there. We were hardly having the ball, so he didn't have much chance. However, one thing I did notice was his closing down was very Iraola. So as he was closing down the players and the keeper, he was curving his run exactly like Evan Nielsen does at Bournemouth. You can see the training he's had there. So he's trying to block off the sort of pathway for the defender. So he's trying to block the pathway but still close down. And you can see him bending his runs all the way, all the time to try and close down the goalkeeper. So that was really interesting that he's been taught that already. So we'll have to keep an eye out for Isak. Will he be doing it? Is he much of a chaser downer? Don't know. But that was good from Will Wright. I like that. And then Sunderland scored on the counter-attack. Given away in the middle by McConnell, stupidly. And then the players just ran all the way through our midfield because our midfield was absolutely nowhere. Elliott was totally ineffective. I don't know where he was playing. Jones was being pulled all over the place. It was a mess. And they just ran straight, counter-attacked in their own half, straight through the middle, 2 passes. And then, to be fair, the guy who scored just pinged it in the top corner, unchallenged, really. So that was frustrating to watch. And I think it shows that the importance of closing up that midfield because it was messy. Again, it's pre-season, first game. I'm not criticising. I'm just telling you what was happening today. Like I said, there was no real signs of the patterns of play yet. We weren't getting the ball down, knocking it around, unless it was in our own 18-yard box. I don't know why we only did it there, but we didn't do it anywhere else on the pitch. Ngamoa had a few, the ball came to him. He still needs to learn that he doesn't have to take anyone on every single time. He doesn't have to prove himself that he has to take people on anymore. So he needs to learn the more drop the shoulder, do a 1-2, move into the box. He doesn't have to do the jinx, 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 jinx all the time. But he's a young kid. He's going to learn that. you got a few clatters as well. So I think he's going to get that more and more, and then he might start passing it quicker before he gets clattered. We'll see that one, but that needs training. But I think that shows where he's just not ready to be a first team starter yet. He's just not there. He's a very exciting kid, but anyway, again, just a pre-season. Got to say that a lot. Now for the first half, last thing I wanted to mention is the fullbacks still turning backwards. I mean, Tsimikas was terrible. He looked half interested, to be honest. Picking the ball up. Sometimes we go, well, I've got no one to pass to. But generally just turning back, passing it back to the goalkeeper, the midfielder. Frimpong was the same. Made a couple of little runs, but just did not look. The fullbacks were poor. Whether they don't know their role in the team yet, but they didn't look with it. So that was a poor showing from them. Now, second half. Instantly, they made a few changes. Szoboszlai came on. The press was 100 times better. He was charging people down. He was leading the press. He's clearly going to be the leader of the team. Whether he's the captain or not, he's going to be the leader. He came on, charged about, tackled people, was pushing all the time. Way better. And then Sunderland scored. Not much of a goal to talk about here. It was just a messy goal. We were messing about again. I think that was the one where Frimpong just fell over, gave the ball away, and they just scored into the penalty box. Rubbish goal. Again, our own fault. But not long after that, Szoboszlai scored again. Well, not again, but we scored again. But it was Szoboszlai. Great work down the left. Koumas came on. He was like a whippet. Koumas was everywhere. Fantastic. So Koumas and Kerkez linked up, done some great work on the left-hand side, cut it back, and Szoboszlai, geez, the quality. This is where you see the quality. Comes to him on his chest. He chests it down, one touch on the chest, and then volley straight in the bottom left corner. Keeper had no chance. A great finish, a great goal, and just shows you having that bit of quality. What difference that makes. That was really good. And again, Koumas played really well, did really well. And Kerkez, again, very attacking, much more attacking than what we used to. Other than that, then we moved on to lots of subs were happening then. So Sunderland obviously changed a lot of their first team from the first half into a lot of younger players. And then Liverpool put on the lesser spotted Ramsey. Calvin Ramsey came on. Who knew he was still alive as he came on? Gave a foul away straight away. But let's not worry about that. Josh Arber, or Abe, I don't know how we're pronouncing his name. Abe Arber. Again, looked a little bit lost, to be honest. Wasn't quite sure his position. Iraola was telling him to push up, get up. But that's okay. It's just youngster. That's no problem at all. Just to get experience of. It's good that he feels how quick the game is. So that was important. And then Ramsey slipped it in for Chiesa, who ran into the penalty box and just did a firm, but lifted it up over the goalkeeper into the corner. Nice finish. Great goal. No problem with that at all. Chiesa was busy enough as well. And that was it. And the last goal was Koumas. It was just a great example. It was the first time, I think, in the game where we saw Iraola ball. Szoboszlai, again, pressing like crazy. Sunderland passed the ball into our area. It was a sloppy ball. I think Neone stepped in, who came on. 2 passes. It's back up to the front. And Szoboszlai slips in Koumas, who does a great finish. Runs through the middle. Chips, again, not chips it, but hits it firmly. Chips over the goalkeeper to make it 4. Really nice goal. And it was a case that was what I'm looking for. Win the ball back. Passes really quickly angled straight up the pitch. One touch and a finish. And that was the first glimpse I saw of the Iraola way there. And that was really good, really nice to see. Now, for me, I think there was 4 standout players in this game. One was Njai, the centre-back. He's left-footed, but he looks pretty both-footed, but he was mainly left-footed, playing on the left. Again, he's only 18, but he had a couple of little wobbles when we were passing it around. But generally, he was very solid, very good, positioned well, won headers, and just a really solid performance, really good. Now, the standout was Ndukwe, who came on for Gomez. He stayed on for the whole game after the 7th minute and finished the whole game because he was impressive. I mean, yeah, he's imposing. He's a huge, huge guy. Kid, really. Huge guy. But he was blocking things. He was passing well. He was stepping out. Just a really good performance. I'm not surprised he stayed on. And in fact, if he's a try list, I cannot believe they wouldn't get him permanently if he wants to sign. Because fantastic. That was a really good performance. I think that may well have got him his contract if he's looking for one, because that was a fantastic performance. So Njai and Ndukwe in the centre both played really well. That was a really good performance from two young centre backs. Koumas, who came on, again, very busy. He was charging people down. He was like Szoboszlai, charging people down, winning the ball back, looking to shoot. He got an opportunity to shoot. He was having a shot. Confident, involved, and exciting. I think he's done himself a world of good with that performance. And lastly, Trey Neone came on and looked like a cultured, calm midfielder at the base of the midfield. He was passing it around, tackling really well. I think he misplaced like 2 passes in the whole time he was on. Really, really good. Great performance from him. And they are the 4 that really stood out. Ndukwe, Njai, Koumas, and Neone. So they will be looking for more minutes. And that should make us excited because, you know, they're all young players there and they stood out a lot. Obviously, Szoboszlai looked fantastic. Really good. Yeah, and that's basically that was the tale of the game. Hopefully, we see some more structure. It's very difficult with the young players. Very, very difficult because we've only got young players and they're playing against the full men of Sunderland in the first half. But hey, that's a good start. We won. Irioli was smiling. We got to see some players. And overall, all right. We were so much better in the second half. So much better. So anyway, that was my roundup. That was what happened if you missed it. It was on LFC TV if you want to catch it up. I don't know if they do catch up or not. I have no idea. But yeah, there you go. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you thought stood out if you watched the game. And don't forget to subscribe. This is a brand new channel. Subscribe like this, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Goodbye.